We see on this video that the insight of scriptures gives the watchtower as example of what knowledge is, the aid to understanding of what knowledge is, and the watchtower that gives its understanding of knowledge. Jehovah Witnesses use John 17 verse 3. This means knowledge, taking in everlasting knowledge. And so they say, or we used to believe, that from Matthew 24:48, the faithful and discreet slave at the proper time would provide the proper food through the watchtower, the awake, those magazines and all the publications that come from the watchtower, is the knowledge. That is all the knowledge that we need to take in, that we shouldn't take in any knowledge from people of the world, because Satan is wicked and evil and is misleading people. And the other is, we mustn't listen to the apostates, because they are evil and mentally diseased. And so you can see the propaganda of this knowledge, that taking in this knowledge of what the watchtower says, how we should think, how we should breathe, how we should walk our lives in a daily life, and this knowledge of belief in our families, how we live our lives, everything. We take in this knowledge and accept everything that the watchtower says is true, and we believe it and we accept it, because we believe that the faithful and discreet slave are providing the food at the proper time, and that these 8 men that are in the watchtower in Walk Hill are the men who we obey, and we take the food and the accurate knowledge that comes from them, from Jehovah God, to the governing body. The mindset of taking in this knowledge, of believing in what the watchtower believes, is totally extreme. And when you look up the word lying in knowledge, it talks about our mental environment that we are in. If we are being controlled by other people, that it is a danger to our mental environment, that we cannot, or we're not allowed to seek answers in life. We're not allowed to take in knowledge for ourselves that may help us. We have to become a slave to the faithful slave and obey and take in this knowledge, the knowledge of what the watchtower believes. As you know, when you Google it, you can see and you can understand that when people who come out of the watchtower of unbrainwashing themselves from this knowledge that they have taken in, which the watchtower calls the worldwide education program, which is a joke, then you can see that it can take a lifetime to unbrainwash from this knowledge that is not true. People begin to see, when they come out, their eyes begin to open and see that the knowledge that they've been told is not necessarily true. That some of the things that they've read in Watchtower publications is not true. is not accurate, is a lie, they've been deceived, it then becomes a shock to them in their lives that they have wasted their lives in the watchtower. Knowledge is that we need to be free. We need to be free to take in what knowledge of whatever we receive from Google, the news, the press, the politicians. We take in that knowledge freely to believe what we want to believe, see what we see, understand how we can understand it in our lives. Knowledge is important because we can change our lives through going in a path of taking knowledge in and choosing to go the way that we wish to go in our will, not being controlled by a lying, deceiving religion. Google it is not a very good word to the watchtower. That's why we have the watchtower apps, JW Bible apps, so it can control people. Why would the watchtower take out its older publications? Because it didn't want people to see the knowledge of the lies and the deceptions of blood fractions, blood transfusions, the changes of the generation, the changes of the second coming of Jesus, and trying to deceive people that they never said that Jesus came back in 1975. The important key is that knowledge that we take is that we are free minds. We take in knowledge without being controlled by anybody and choose our destiny and live how we want to live our lives. The watchtower has so long controlled us that it is difficult to take the right knowledge to live our lives, which takes a lifetime. We need to, if we're Jehovah Witnesses, mind control ourselves and take in knowledge of everything around us to see that we are being deceived by the watchtower. And knowledge, the wrong knowledge, is dangerous.